Low-key 91, this one's for you. Much like the Primitive Technology YouTube channel, this one is all about the hunter-gatherer lifestyle. And by that, I mean I had to hunt for over a minute online for the number to Domino's, then go gather the pizza from the teenager behind the counter. And that's where Steel Will comes in with their new Cutjack Mini, which is perfect for breaking down your pizza carcass. The Mini, you say, boy? How about showing those dimensions? Sorry, I have a terrible proper British accent. Like the overall length and weight. The blade size. The cutting edge. The handle size. The grip area. And a terrible German one too. The spine thickness, the handle thickness, and the tallness of the knife when closed. Is there a less awkward way to say that? I sure hope not. The Cutjack Mini is a new version of the Cutjack, and the smaller version of the high-end Cutjack coming out this year. The regular Cutjack is called the C22, and this is the C22M-2BK, which sounds confusing, but just know that Cutjack is a series of knives that may have different pivot systems and blade sizes and steels. This particular edition of the Cutjack is made in Italy and features a blade made from Bohler M390 steel. The drop point blade has a high flat grind with a satin finish. The Cutjack Mini is the more compact version of the Cutjack. If you want a larger blade in the mid 3-inch range, go with the full-size Cutjack, or buy the smaller one and complain about it. The blade pivots on a ball bearing system and is locked up with a liner lock. The ball bearing system means the blade is deployed quickly and consistently without much effort. Even with a minimal press of the flipper stud, it gets it to deploy. Remember the Kershaw unassisted fraction that felt assisted I reviewed a few weeks ago? Well, this one and that one are my two easiest and most fluid flippers. The flipper stud is sort of edgy, and you might take some super fine grit sandpaper to lightly knock down the hot spots. They aren't bad, but if you fidget flip throughout the day like most people do with their knives instead of using them, then it might wear on your tender thumbs. The liner lock seems strong enough, and I beat on my stump with a bit to see if I could get it to fail. As you can see here, it didn't fail. Spoiler. I mean, the lock magicians at Cold Steel might with their puny lock tester. They could get it to fail, I'm sure. So you can send them yours and watch the guy talk for 15 minutes about triads and hit it with his weights. I don't know, maybe they already have the video up. How long has this knife been out? Also, I did not try to stab a car hood, so, I'm not sure if it'll hold up against car combat. But the lock isn't hard to disengage either. The D10 is strong, and only the hardest of baseball pitch flicks will let the blade fly out. The strong D10 is also what makes the blade pop open and lock so easily. The handle is fine. Just a tad on the small side, but that's the point of this version of the knife. Again, you can complain or you can get the bigger one if you want the larger handle. Some people like smaller knives because they're more pocketable. I know, weird, right? But here's my hand on it. If you're familiar with my hands, and if you watch this a lot, I'm sure you are, and their lack of lotion. The G10 scales are lightly textured and provide a little bit of grip. They sit atop skeletonized stainless steel liners, and there's a blue backspacer chilling there, giving the knife a splash of color. I think this handle also comes in a blue version, but that wasn't available for review. The pocket clip. It's reversible to the right or left side in a tip-up configuration only. It's fairly strong. Nothing I really hate about it. It's not a deep carry clip. So let's do a quick comparison between other flippers while dozens of mosquitoes fly around and suck my blood. Some cheap and some not cheap. The Cutjack probably has the highest MSRP flipper in this whole bunch. It's about $144 at Knife Center. That seems mainly due to the blade steel and the smooth ball-bearing deployment. Now, doing a quick search on Knife Center before you have a coronary or a Blade HQ, it's hard to find an M390 blade in a sub-$100 blade. And on Knife Center, the Cutjacks are the budget M390 blades. So keep that in mind, please. My only other M390 blade is my Benchmade 765, and that's a $300 knife. About the only thing that I could say about the Cutjack is it has a little too much writing on the blade, but, you know, some people like advertisements on their knives. So we know the Cutjack is smooth, but let's look at some other flippers, like the Enlin EL01, a much bigger Chinese knife, and uses 8CR13 MOV steel. It's like $12, but it's built like a tank. The flipping action is smooth, but you have to hit it harder to deploy it consistently. It's a little too heavy for pocket carry for me. I reviewed this one over a year ago. Go check it out, see if you like it. Now the Kershaw Fraction, also a compact blade, smaller and almost 2 ounces lighter than my Cutjack. If you need an ultralight unassisted flipper, this is a good choice. It deploys consistently and is comparable to the Cutjack in consistency of deployment. Consistency. It uses the same cheap steel as the Enlin though, and is made in China. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a fine $30 knife. Then the small Sanrenmu 7089 has a fixed pocket clip and is small, probably the least fluid of all the flippers here. I want to say it's under $10 though. And it has the smallest handle. Probably my least favorite here. It's not bad, it's just, not my sort of thing. Like Miller Lite, or dog boutiques, or restaurants with the word bistro in them. Things like that. Then the final flipper, the Benchmade Precinct flipper, or the 320 for the Benchmade number guys. This has a nice fluid deployment and a nice handle and finger pivot. The knife is the second most expensive, but uses 154 cm blade steel, which some people seem to think is crap now. But I like it on my Benchmades because it's easy to sharpen and it takes a pretty sharp edge pretty quickly. It does have a detent that makes closing a tad awkward and probably the least smooth of all these knives in closing. I'm not sure why, but whatever. I like it and I use it a lot though. The ergonomics are the best and it's not heavy, it's under 4 ounces, so it's a good pocket carry despite the slightly awkward close up. Okay, so let's wrap it up. The Mini Cutjack is one of the cheapest knives you can get in M390. So it might be a good entry-level knife if you want to start paying for premium steel. Are you ready? Out of the box, it's like a medium sharp, and it can shave arm hair with a little more effort than a Spyderco. Spydercos always seem to be my sharpest knives, even sharper than Benchmade's. Now, I have not owned every single brand of knife, but I'm just telling you from a reference point for me. It's a smooth, well-made knife with a good lockup and fast, consistent deployment. Steel Will provided this knife for review. If you like this review, subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment. Check out some of my other reviews you'll see pop up on the screen here if you'd like to waste some time or get angry because I'm abusing knives that shouldn't be abused. They should be kept in safes. Hey guys, thanks for watching.